Hey guys, welcome to Azarian, the Forsaken Sun. This is a boss you run into quite early on in Act 2, and he doesn't have a lot of mechanics, but because of the way the room is structured, it really tests your maneuverability. The first thing you'll notice when you get into the room is that there are 4 of these metal fire pit cage things in the 4 corners. You can't interact with them, but if the boss does a fire-based attack on them, they will explode and cover that quarter of the room in embers. Basically, floor is lava. If you step on it, you will be taking damage over time and it will quickly drain your health. So at the start of the fight, you'll see I'm trying to stand near the wall and have him chase away from the corner of the room. So he should either be facing the wall or facing the middle of the room. That gives the best chance of him missing the corners of the room with his attacks. Unfortunately, his attack range is quite wide, and as you can see, he's already destroyed 2 of these fire pits. So now I'm trying to stand in the middle of the room, facing him into the area he's already destroyed, to try and do as much damage as I can before he gets to the other 2. So when he gets close, I use Falling Thunder. If he gets a bit further away from me, I use Glacial Strike. And I always try to face him into the left part of the room where he's already destroyed the fire pits. That one just barely missed the cage on the right. Throughout the fight, it's going to make it more and more difficult for you to not step on fire, either the firewall he's created or the embers on the ground. Eventually he'll probably get all 4, so the idea is to do as much damage as possible before the fight gets to that stage. So see, I've stunned him, but unfortunately he's standing in embers, doesn't seem to hurt him, but it has drained some of my HP. His attacks are mostly AoE, so every now and then I'll miss a dodge and then just have to use the flask. His attack animation is quite lengthy, so it does give you some time to notice and then get out of the way. But it is a bit of a hassle because you also want to cast your own spells. Alright, so he's about half HP. I've successfully kept him to this half of the room so far. What I've been trying to do is to build up the stun meter, and when he gets onto the right side of the room, I want to use the staggering palm to stun him and do some burst damage. Because he was standing in the middle of embers, I couldn't get close to him, so he ended up doing that whirlwind move, and now we're down to the last free bit of the room, and I think he just destroyed the last fire pit. So now the only area where we can fight is this middle section about this wide. Good news is he's only got about a third of the HP left. We are a melee class. Our flask is pretty full still. We'll just have to spend some more effort on dodging than doing attacks. So he's cast Firewall in the middle of the room, making it even more difficult for us to run around. So the Firewall he creates does less damage than the embers on the ground. So if you have to, you can cross the firewall with a dodge roll rather than risk stepping into the embers. So I've stunned him, he's falling into the embers again. It's kind of painful for me to try and DPS him there, so backed off and started using range attack. At this point of the fight, it's about controlling movement and avoiding his attacks to slowly grind down his HP. What you can do is, if you have to, you can dodge roll into the embers and straight back in. That will cost you a tiny little bit of HP, but that will help you avoid his hits. I'm about out of mana, had to take a few swings at him with that huge bludgeon while waiting for regen. Fortunately, I did use flasks that recharge themselves, so I was able to get mana back and finish the fight. I would say this was a bit of an awkward fight, but definitely very fun. Thanks for watching. More PoE2 content in my channel.